Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and today is part of the ongoing video series of the December 2021 Battleforce assemblies. So today's video is on the Hedonites of Slaanesh Sybarite Blade-Carnival Battleforce, focusing on what the models look like fully assembled, what the assembly options are within the box, as well as any assembly issues or problems that I had while I was assembling them. These are intense. I will tell you why in the video. Alright, here we have 30 models, which is still a sizable number of points for this army. These are all new models, which is great since some of the old models are quite old models. This, however, is not a beginner's set when it comes to assembly. These guys require some skill. So, if you have them and you have not assembled them yet and have not assembled anything, then perhaps grab something else and try your hand on that before you try your hand on these. I say that they're difficult because the pieces, they fit pristinely together, but it's a bit counterintuitive how to put them together. They will click into place. Everything has their specific spot, but trying to figure out how to put them together might foul you up a bit. Also, when you're taking them off the sprue, you have to be careful, make certain your tools are all sharp and you've got nice thin clippers, otherwise you might dent areas that you didn't intend to. You want a nice sharp knife for cleanup, or if you're not that accustomed to a hobby knife, you may want to get a cylindrical file, a nice small file that's a cylinder, so that you can file down the areas that you have to cut off, because there is a lot of places where it's a curved surface that you have to cut the sprue away from, and that is a bit harder for beginners not to shave off too much of the model by accident, so you may want to get yourself a pair of small files for that. Files are always nice anyway, you will eventually use them, so you'll definitely use them for this kit. You're going to be using them over and over again. So extra things, clippers, nice thin-tipped clippers, a nice sharp hobby knife, tweezers, and files. So this lady is the Shard Speaker. She has one particular way of being assembled. There are no extra pieces after her. She looks great. These models are really good looking. So they're complex, but they're complex for good reason. They've got great poses. Someone really cared about them when they were hats off to the modeler who sculpted these guys. They're gorgeous. Right, so that was the Shard Speaker. You have a kit of both, you have 2 kits of Myrmidish Painbringers, which can either be Myrmidish Painbringers or the Twin Souls. I just did both of them, but they're the same thing. So you could either have the Myrmidish Painbringers or the Twin Souls. The Myrmidish Painbringers are my favorite between the two looks. I just really enjoy this, their look with their shields and their headpieces. They look awesome. I like them. You don't. So there are 2 kits. Basically, the extra bits that you get are all the pieces that are used to make the alternate models, as well as one of these is your champion. If you do not want to make a champion, you have the bits to turn him into a non-champion person. And that's the champion with his special shield to helmet. Look at that cloak. And he has cloak, right. I like them. I think they look great. Here's the alternate builds for them. So anything. Look at that face. So, you could certainly, they're the same size as, you know, the rest of the mortals. So you could put the head somewhere else. The heads are so funky. I definitely like what these guys do, though, in combat. Other than the fact that you have to, one of their abilities says that you have to change it up every battle round. You might want a little reminder icon. Two-sided icon. Or like a d6 where 1 is you've made one choice in combat and number 2, well, maybe not a d6 because you accidentally pick it up. Maybe a d4 or something like that. Just to remind you which choice that you made for the combat. You'll know what I'm referring to when you read what they do. You have to make a choice every combat. Don't forget. Well, not every combat, that's the thing. It's every round. So it's staying for your combat and your opponent's combat. These guys are so wild, but if you don't choose them and you go with the Myrmidish fellas, then you've got some wild heads to choose from. I bet they would make some really nice Dark Eldar, since they're elves. If you happen to play 40k and Dark Eldar, or Drukhari, whichever you want to call them. Look at that whip. That whip is easy to accidentally break, so be careful with that. Thankfully, it does have an attachment right there to make it a little bit friendlier to not breaking. Right, that's those guys. We've got a set of Blissbarb archers with their homunculus. The homunculus, well, I only got 10 bases and I need 11. Homunculus is missing a base. That was just in my box. I mean, I've got 28 or 25, 28, 25 or 28 mils. I think 28 mil bases. Yeah, that's 28 mil. So I'll add him. When I find a random base, I will add him. So the Blissbarb archers do not have that many extra pieces. They have enough pieces to turn this one into a regular Blissbarb archer. She is the, this one's the champion. You can tell the champion by the blade. A regular Blissbarb archer just has regular blade in her hand, so you've got the extra blade. These do see how many. These are really detailed models. I don't think I'll show all of them. There aren't really different models. Look at it. Oh, it looks so nice. It's going to be fun to paint these guys up. And also time consuming. These look good. Show this one. Power posing. Yeah, you might want to keep their bows, their quivers off of them before you paint them. But here's a little homunculus. He's fun. You have to have every 11 models has to have one of these fellas. to make them different, I imagine I'd grab some various heads to choose from to make the different homunculus. These guys do not have any alternate builds, except for the main fellow with the sword can be just a regular guy, so there's an extra claw that you'll find to turn him into a regular guy instead of the champion. The one who gets extra attacks. Funky fellas. So much detail on every single piece. It is going to be a labor of love to paint them. But hey, if you got through the time it took to assemble them, you will be so enthused to paint them. And they look so good. They look so good. The whole bunch of them. These guys got such cool looking outfits. Alright, so these ones have the option of being Slickblade Seekers or Blissbarb Seekers. These new Seekers are looking pretty good, by the way. Complex assembly. Right, so the Rider and the Seeker are separate models, so you could use the Seeker elsewhere, except for there's like a couple holes that you'd find in the model where the legs actually connect into the model. So the Rider would have a random thing to connect into the Seeker, and the Seeker would have a random hole, but you could certainly, with not much customization, use these Seekers elsewhere. And of course, you then have all the extra pieces to turn these guys. So you've got all the extra bows to use anywhere. These models have such dynamic poses. Look at that. Look at that. These were intense. These are intense. Got a whole bunch of extra little pieces that they really do want you to put it in because there's a hole. Everything has this very particular spot. And there's a whole little notch for you to find to put that, to put the piece there. Got some variety of what exactly you can use to put there, like which piece of chain goes with which person is up to you. But these are very specifically built for the most part. I would not call these multi-pose models. They're very monopose. But they look so nice. And with a bit of customization, you can do anything. A little bit harder when it comes to fixing up human flesh. Well, elf flesh. Look at these guys. So detailed. His tongue is actually tougher than you think, so it might not fall off eventually. Do be careful with these guys. Look at you. I love their helms. I really like how these guys look. The alternative Blissbarb Seekers have. So I chose these guys, and instead you could choose these guys. So all the helms, which you could probably put on here on your Blissbarbs, on your Blissbarb archers if you cared for. Though again, everything fits very well, so you'd have to do a bit of customization for them to fit properly. But yeah, these guys would be. They all have bows, so you get all of these extra bows and these extra heads for Blissbarb people. That is it. Such a glorious army. I've already told you that it will take you a while to assemble them. Have fun with it, because it's gonna be a while. Alright, if you had any questions, as I said, make certain to comment below about them. Other people might have the same questions. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you did. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye! If you have this and you're interested in what you should get beyond this, first things first would be some Demonites. At least 20. Since Demonites are finicky little guys to put together, currently I do hope they put out some new Demonite models. But since they're so finicky to put together, they go right along with these. These ones, however, are finicky with incredible detail, and they fit perfectly together once you've completed them. Demonites are just finicky, so there's definitely an improvement there.